You have just committed thousands of dollars to put your team on ClickUp. You've onboarded your team and you see activity, but you're not sure if it really is working. Your first instinct is to look at daily active users. If people are using it, then it must be fine, right? Here's what I have learned after a decade of rolling out platforms like ClickUp for teams under 50. Daily active users does not tell you whether a rollout is on track. I will tell you why that is in a bit and show you what to look at instead so that you can catch issues early and course correct if necessary. Why daily active users is not a helpful metric for you. Daily active user is a common metric used by software companies to measure usage of their products. This is important for them because usage means they get to continue to collect subscription fees. Since ClickUp is a piece of software, it is tempting to apply the same typical SaaS metrics to it as well. And there is some logic to it because if absolutely no one is using the system on any day, then obviously your rollout is not working. But not only is your context completely different to that of a software company, this measurement is also incomplete. Imagine your team has field agents visiting customers all day. They're not going to be sitting in front of ClickUp. Does that mean that the rollout is failing? Of course not. What about your bookkeeper? Why would they need to log into ClickUp every day? They wouldn't. So not every role has the need or even the chance to be in ClickUp daily. And the moment you set daily active users as the bar, you start encouraging performative interaction. You know what I mean? Opening the app just to count as active. And that is classic metric corruption. You'll see the same issue with other engagement metrics, such as task update recency, for example, which is the percentage of open tasks updated in the last 7 days. It's the same problem. It encourages useless updates. And if you've got projects stretching over long time horizons, why would those tasks need to be touched every week? It makes no sense. But there is a bigger problem with both of these metrics. You can absolutely use a tool both frequently and poorly. They are not mutually exclusive. So what is a better way to measure success? To answer that, let's go back to why you rolled out ClickUp in the first place. Nobody implements ClickUp because they love paying for new software. People roll it out because they believe it will help them solve a business problem by improving coordination. I'm pretty sure your thought process went something like this. Oh, we're late on our project delivery. Again! This means that we won't get paid the second invoice until later, and I might not make payroll on time. If only we could improve our project delivery timing. A tool like ClickUp could help with visibility to all the projects, the deadlines, and resources in one place. We could plan and estimate better. That should improve on-time delivery. Or it might sound like this. Why does the team keep saying they're drowning in work? They want me to add another person to the headcount, but I don't actually feel like we're producing that much more. Having more visibility on the work done and better process management using ClickUp could mean that we are more effective as a team and we can then stay lean, which means better margins. In both cases, there's a clear logical chain. People use the tool to list and plan projects, deadlines, and resources, and that is adoption. Planning and estimation improve, and that is the coordination layer. On-time delivery or staying lean or whatever the goal is, that is business impact. So to know whether your rollout is on the right track, you want to look across all 3 layers, not just the first one. So let's go through them. The signals that really matter. Layer 1 is adoption. We've established that tracking active users isn't the most clever thing to do. So what do I propose instead? There are 2 metrics that I would propose for this layer. The first is what I call workflow coverage. What this means is, how many of your most critical workflows actually live inside ClickUp? By workflow, I mean things like client delivery, content production, product releases, hiring, weekly planning, If only 1 out of 5 critical workflows run in ClickUp, who cares whether people are logging in every day? They could be chatting with each other for all you know. This also doesn't mean that you need every workflow in ClickUp. Most of my clients don't use ClickUp as their CRM, so their sales pipelines live in somewhere else like HubSpot. Their financial reporting also doesn't sit in ClickUp, and that is fine. Not every workflow needs to be in there. But you do want at least 60% of your critical workflow in ClickUp, because if not, ClickUp becomes yet another reporting layer that adds admin to the team instead of removing it. And honestly, that is a lot worse than not having ClickUp at all. The second adoption metric I would propose is active meeting usage. So, how many of your meetings are run from ClickUp as a percentage of all meetings? If your team uses dashboards and meetings, that is great. But my bar is actually even lower than that. Are people updating ClickUp lists, taking off tasks, taking notes in ClickUp docs during the meeting? Or are they capturing notes somewhere else and then transferring them into ClickUp afterwards as an extra admin step? If it's the second one, it tells you 2 things. They're either not familiar enough with the tool yet, or it's probably not set up in a way that supports them doing it live. Either of those is fixable, but only if you spot it. These are signals you can start reading within the first few weeks of go live. They are also pretty easy to read, so if you see no change within the first few weeks, you need to do something quickly. The next layer is coordination. The signal I look at here is retrieval speed. So how long does it take to find information you need about a task? For example, it used to take you 10 minutes to gather information about a task across emails, Slack, and WhatsApp before you could even start working on it. Now, it takes you 1 minute. That is a huge win. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does it have to be that precise? I don't even know how long this used to take me. And you'd be right. If you had been that meticulous in time tracking before, you probably wouldn't be feeling disorganized in the first place. So practically, nobody in their right mind is measuring this to the minute, I think. But there's a shortcut. I call it the 4-question test, and it's something that you can run this week. Take 10 random tasks, then ask everybody on a team to answer these 4 questions in 30 seconds. For each task, ask them, who owns this? What happens next? What is blocked? And what matters this week? If only one person can answer the questions, or if everybody gives a different answer, that is not a good sign. But if everyone knows where to look for this information in ClickUp and is able to confidently tell you the status of the task based on what is sitting in ClickUp, or even better, tells you that you should look at ClickUp because it's up to date, then congratulations, your rollout is going great. The point is not to put your team on the spot. The point is to perform a diagnostic on the system. You're checking whether people recognize and trust ClickUp as the shared source of truth. Give this measurement a bit more time, because people need to have already migrated their active projects and tasks onto ClickUp and be using it for a while to build that trust and certainty. I'd run this test for the first time a month in after go live, allow for some rounds of feedback and adjustment, and then do a reading again. The last layer we want to address is the business impact layer. Did the rollout actually help you deliver more projects on time, or keep the team lean, or whatever your goal was? It's exhilarating when you see these metrics improve, but I gotta say this up front. Business impact is what you hope ClickUp will unlock. It is not what ClickUp directly produces. Just to give you an example of what I mean. Let's say you're trying to improve project delivery timing. ClickUp gives you great visibility, which made you realize your projects are late because you have too many concurrent projects and not enough manpower. Until you actually adjust scheduling or hire more people, you will continue to miss deadlines. In this case, you're still missing deadlines, but now you know with great certainty what is causing your issue. Would I still consider ClickUp Rollout to be successful in this case? For sure. The key here is to understand business impact as a signal to watch, not the metric to grade the rollout on. And before deciding on using any particular business impact as an assessment signal, always pay attention to causality and time lag. Meaning, ask yourself, are there other factors that might be contributing to the outcome of this business impact? And am I giving it enough time for this effect to take its natural course? The amount of lag depends on your business cycle, but I would give it at least 1 quarter before making a first read. And because of this lag, try not to panic or rush to conclusions prematurely. Focus on the adoption and coordination metrics first and trust the process. If you're still with me, there's one more signal worth sharing. It's the one I find most telling, and it's the one almost everyone overlooks. And it is mental load. Is this tool meaningfully bringing down coordination stress for you and your team? You can't really put a number on this. Some people will argue that yes, you can do a before and after survey, sure. But whether or not you need to over-engineer this is another question altogether. If it's working, people will generally tell you. Some of the real things I heard are, I'm so thankful ClickUp is there. ClickUp is so cool. I love ClickUp. These guys are not my direct reports, so I'm pretty sure they're not sucking up to me. But yeah, people do say these things. And conversely, if they hate it, they will also absolutely bitch about it. And that is so useful because it's a signal to have a conversation about why they hate it so much. And it gives you the ideas on what to adjust accordingly. Unlike the other signals, this one is available immediately. People will tell you how the tool is making them feel from week 1. But of course, if your team generally hates change, they might still bitch around at the beginning. So keep it as a dialogue and see how it changes over time. That's the read. 3 layers, 5 signals. Paying attention to them will give you a good sense of how your ClickUp rollout is going and whether adjustments are needed. If you find this video useful, don't forget to give me a like. Subscribe for more operational fun for small teams. See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!